Trees are able to communicate with each other through an underground network known as the Wood Wide Web. This system allows trees to loan sugar to neighboring trees, send warning signals about injury or disease, nurture their own offspring, and donate resources to conserve the forests. What do you think of that, Josh?
I think it sounds super cool.
Why would you not want to read an article like that? Why would you not click on that?
That's some like Avatar stuff, right? I mean,
dude, it's badass, man. It's mycelium. It's I've got it in my own yard when I'm gardening. There's mats of it, and everything that's growing in it is thriving.
Yeah.
Although it seems to be choking the roots. It doesn't make sense.
Well, what you got to realize is that when we talk about life is generally begins in most cases. We talk about it on the cellular level. And on cellular levels, everything's really bacteria, right? Like we know that we're, almost 99% bacteria. There's 2 trillion bacteria cells in our body compared to a very, very, very small amount of human cells. You're basically a human housing for bacteria.
Right.
And we know that in the soil that, it's bacteria that actually chelates the minerals from rock to make it bioavailable for the plants. So everything, when we talk about life on other planets, what are we looking for? We're looking for microorganisms, right?
Plants.
It's always about microorganisms. It's about bacteria. So it makes sense that these soil bacteria, right, this cellular thing is cross communicating, right? Because it's cellular. So it's definitely embedded within a larger system. There's electrocommunication going on. That's how we know that cells pass information. So, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the knowledge and the data is all there. It's just people don't think about it in these terms. I think it's a cool way to look at it. And Avatar, the movie Avatar basically was describing that and trying to put that a little bit more on a spiritual level. But yeah, definitely really cool. It's saying, what was it saying? It's saying the information superhighway that speeds up interactions between large, diverse population of individuals, that allows individuals, basically talking about trees, who may be widely separated, to communicate and help each other out. Yeah. So
we should arrest the trees.
Yeah, we should arrest the trees.
Okay. All right. I think that's probably going to happen. Someone's going to call for their canopy, I guess. Off with his canopy.
Yeah. Right. But it kind of makes you look at it. When you look at a forest, you see like, dying trees, and you always think to yourself, like, I wonder if these other trees know that this one's dying,
So it's basically a fungus. The mycelium, I guess they're saying it's like a mushroom. It's got the, when I dig it up in the backyard and I'm gardening, it does have the consistency of a mushroom. It's got that sort of meaty white flesh, but it's really fine, like a net. And for years, I would go out there and pull weeds, and I would find it underneath the mulch, and it grows on top of the visqueen that keeps the weeds from coming up. So it would really expand all over the entire yard. And I thought it was an invader, so I pulled up huge mats of it, and then plants would just die. So now I've learned. I go out there and basically just nurture the soil, give it a little bit of millorganite every now and then. And, you can pull the mulch away anywhere in my backyard now, and it's, the mycelium is probably an inch thick. It's like this layer in this mat, and everything is just totally thriving. Just green as could be, as healthy as could be, no fertilizer, hardly any water. So, it's like a self-organizing organism. It just kind of just puts everything into place. It knows exactly, like if you cut your foot, to clean it and put a Band-Aid on it. That's exactly what it's doing. It's looking out and saying, this guy's not getting enough water. This guy's not getting enough sun. This guy over here, the soil sucks, the pH is wrong. And then it just, it intelligently adjusts everything so that things can thrive, That's
it seems to be kind of like the neural network of the plant world, at least what they're saying here. And it was saying 90% of land plants.
It's like a mess.
Right. 90% of land plants are in, scroll back up. 90% of land plants are in mutually beneficial relationships with fungi. Listen to that. 90%.
Yeah.
Of all the plants you see.
Right.
the 19th century German biologist Albert Bernard Frank coined the term mycorrhiza to describe these partnerships. And so the fungus is helping colonize the root of the plant. And so that's insane. They've been called the Earth's natural internet.
Yeah.
So they're passing along information. It's neural networks. They're boosting the host plant's immune systems. It's saying here that they're triggering production of defense-related chemicals. So the mycelium can tell if there's something coming, and can trigger the plant to like create more of something that helps it protect itself. That's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, now this guy down here, I want to direct people right to the center here. This guy Paul Stamets, he's got a really good selection of videos on YouTube as far as mycelium and fungus and basically everything that grows underneath the ground in the forest. This guy is an expert of. So I would suggest people, if you go to YouTube, search out that guy Paul Stamets. He's really cool. His lectures are real relaxing and calm, and you get a lot out of them. And he did a good TED talk. That was a good one. There's Avatar coming in at the end that you were talking about.
Yeah,
it's basically, I think when people ground, I think they basically, when they ground, they're I do it. I don't know if you do, but I'll just go stand in the mud in the backyard, and maybe
everybody can relate to the feeling of their feet on the sand at the beach.
Yeah, it's great. When it's wet, and you're grounded there. Yeah.
But it's electrochemical, like they're saying. There's right. Some kind of electrochemical communication, and we talk about this on our electric universe theory, is that everything's connected electrically, and because exactly. All things are connected through electricity. So electricity is what transfers the information from everything we need in any kind of communication in the modern world. So, electricity is the internet's the Earth is using it in its own way, and it has its own internet, and it's transferring information. And it seems to be the bacteria. It seems to be the host of this kind of transferring. This is like the computer system that is capable of harnessing the data and moving it from one place to another. And it has some kind of a brain system that's communicating. Okay, I need more nutrients. This one's dying. Okay, we're going to let this one go. We're going to pump, more into this. It's telling other plants, hey, this is coming. You got to be careful. You need to boost up on these, whatever it is, to help them protect it. So when you look at a forest and you're standing out there and you're staring at this thing, you got to realize these things are not just silent, things just blowing in the wind. These things, there's constant communication between this entire forest of what the Earth is doing. What right. kind of
it's watching you. You're not watching it.
Yeah, it's pretty magical. People need to realize this is science. This isn't fantasy.
This was always, for me, this was where I really wanted to make sure that everybody knew about this when I read The Secret Life of Plants and read about the Baxter effect. Read about all the, stuff they did and to prove it and make it verifiable, that plants communicate, basically without mycelium, across distances. After I read that, I wanted to tell everybody. It was like, oh yeah, this is great. Doesn't everybody know this? And, it's, for some reason, it really has never caught on, because plants are so insignificant to most people. They just, they look at them and, as a beautification thing, or they eat them, and they don't really think about them as something that might have some sort of sentience, which is, that's why when I read that book, it really answered a lot of questions for me. So, I definitely suggest that.
Yeah, you got Clive Baxter, right? Clive Baxter.
Yeah.
And this was years ago, and he had this machine, and he, it registers. I guess it's EKG, right? Basically.
It's basically like some sort of heart machine or something. Yeah.
It was like an EKG monitor, and electrical impulse, and so. He thought, hey, I wonder, what would happen if I hooked it up to this plant? And so he hooked it up to this plant, and nothing really was going on. And so he, kind of did a couple things, and
he adjusted the pH in the soil.
Yeah, that's right. He was doing soil pH stuff and changing
it up. Basically, turned the plant into a battery.
Right, but what also happened was that he was thinking to himself, I wonder if I can get this plant to really go crazy.
Scare the hell out of it.
Scare the hell out of it. So he thought, you know what if I burned it? And then the plant, the monitor just started going crazy. And they were like, what the hell? I just basically thought that of burning this plant, and it responded to my actual thought. Right. And so stuff isn't just limited to fungus. There's something that's connecting everything. And this is where the electric universe theory can give us some scientific answers and background to how this could be possible, because everything is connected electrically. And electricity holds information. So information can basically be transferred through any kind of action. So it's real fascinating. That's a really cool article that ties some of this stuff together. Cool stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much what mycelium does. It ties everything together.
Exactly.
It's the muck under the ground that binds us.
Yeah,
maybe we should take some and drop a whole net of that over Washington, D.C. there.
Yeah.
Take a big piece of mycelium and just drop it over the whole city and let it bind everybody together. Teach them how to get along
better. Yeah. No, it's it's definitely. And if you guys are into nutrition, if you guys are into nutrition, you should read a little more about the probiotic systems that you have in your bodies and how that functions, and how that ties into your neural network, because the probiotics are actually communicating there's bacteria in your brain, on your skin and in your gut lining, and these guys are all communicating in different ways as well, and they're signaling and they're producing enzymes, and they're the ones manufacturing a lot of the vitamins and proteins that your bodies need. So there's some really good researchers. Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride is a really good resource.
Her videos are great, man.
Yeah, really good, smart stuff. And I help people on a daily basis with this stuff. But
the gut,
it's
all about the gut.
Really all about fungus. It's about bacteria, and it's about electrocommunication. And this is how all systems are working. So we'll maybe post some stuff on that and dig in maybe a little bit in that kind of angle sometime. But great show topic, man.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I love it. I love talking about plants and nature and all that good stuff. Atlantis is okay too. Cool, man. Well, I guess we'll call it a show here at that one, and we'll come up with something even better next time, right?
Yeah, man, we've got lots to talk about. Guys, chime in if there's something you want us to talk about. If you want us to cover a subject, don't be shy. info@ancientamnesia.com, or message us on Facebook, and we will get to you ASAP, and we'll get the conversation going. So
yeah, be a part of the conversation, guys. Join in.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Cheers.